Okay, are we live, sir? Ready to go. Good morning. It's November 15, 2023, 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I'd like to call the Keene Economic Development Corporation Type A EDC regular meeting to order. I'll stand at this time, and Wes, would you please have our invocation and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Carl. Thank you.
Our Father, we come to you this morning thanking you for the opportunity to serve the citizens of Keene. We ask, Lord, that you help us keep that in mind as we go about our duties. Stay in line with your precepts as well, and just be with each and every one of us here. We thank you again. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, sir.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Have a seat, please. All right. First on our agenda is President's remarks. I really don't have any special remarks at this time, so we'll just go right to the City Administrator's remarks. Don Martin, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Things are moving along. As you can see, Mr. Nathan is filling in, so I want to thank him for helping out with the secretarial duties.
Appreciate it.
Things are moving along development-wise. Ashton Home Place, Sunset Ridge are all going along. Gas station, Dollar General, Tractor Supply. So things are looking up.
Is there something you said Dollar General? Something going on with them? We don't.
We have a meeting with them this morning. They're wanting to put another store in. Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Okay,
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that.
With some produce.
Good.
So we'll see.
No,
Kind of preliminary stuff. So.
Anything Tractor Supply? Anything new on that? Still waiting for the water deal.
Still working for. Yeah, we're working all that out. Working on some easements, and I got some site plans from them. So we're moving forward.
Still moving forward. Okay, well, that's great. It's time for public comments. Anybody? Charles is the only public we have here, I guess. We don't have any comments from Charles, or we'll get to him in a minute anyway. The next item down would include approval of the Type A minutes, ADC minutes from October 18, 2023. It's about the third page back, I believe.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from,
Microphone, please.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the October the 18th board meeting.
Okay, motion on the floor.
A second.
We have a second on the end down there. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Unanimous, thank you. I would like to make one comment on that, and it basically has to do with item 6 on the minutes, discussion and give staff direction regarding an ordinance authorizing Type A EDC to undertake any project at Type B. But this is something we've been talking about for quite a while. Basically, it allows us, it doesn't mandate. Someone read that and asked me, do you mean anything they come up with you have to support? No, we don't, obviously. And I would hope, personally, since we're really here to supposedly stimulate growth in the city, we would limit our involvement to things that are involving retail. That's my personal thought. That we would be able to give
Bring in revenue.
some sort of incentive to people because we can't do retail, but B can. So maybe we can work with them on that. I would hope that anything we do really would involve retail, but we'll see. But it doesn't mandate that we have to do everything they want to do. It just gives us the option. Be this board's decision whether they wanted to do that or not.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out.
And one quick comment on that one. It will be on the agenda, or it is.
Yeah,
on the
tomorrow
agenda
night.
for
Yeah,
tomorrow's the
that's
council.
how it came up, actually, to look at the agenda tomorrow night. Charles, you ready to talk to us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, the next item would be consider approval of our ADC financial statements ending October 31. I think, well, last time we talked, you hadn't closed out the book, so I bet they're closed out now, aren't they?
Yes, sir. It's a few invoices still trickling in kind of late, so you probably get some change of numbers over the next couple weeks. But good news, as we end the year September 30th, kind of want to focus really on the bank account. We ended September 30th in our books, in our bank account at $262,516. That's not on your statement here. And that's the reason I want to point that out, because in previous years, it was less than that because of the loans and because of other things that we were spending out during that time in the past 2 or 3 years. But now I can safely say we are moving forward, because end of October bank account is $317,586. That's a $55,000 increase over 1 month. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we headed, which is great right there. But for the month of October, we did get our sales tax in. It was kind of late getting that in. That's why you just received your financial report, because the state was a little late distributing to cities the sales tax report. We did receive our portion of $28,294.60. That's close to the target. Our target at this time is 8.3, and we in there at 8.1. So we right there hovering right near the target for that. I'm looking for great things for that. I'm doing a projection, which will probably be in the December reports, kind of give you an idea of where we're going to be in the next 6 months and throughout the year. That way, it gives you heads up as far as what you want to do in consideration to the spending and what direction you want our Don Martin to go into.
Charles, do we not have another debt that we were going to try to pay off?
No, ma'am.
We don't have any.
No, we're
We are
everything's paid for.
debt-free.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a great question.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, because,
Absolutely.
yeah, wow.
And so that does open up that question, like our director, our assistant city manager said, that would be on council, because you're debt-free. All the money will be going into your board minimum money market account, and there's a lot of things you can do at that time throughout the year. So this is great news.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
My overall projection, we would, assumingly, if everything goes well, we are budgeted for $350,000 for this year. We'll be close to that mark. You know, less expenses, of course, to make some pretty good headway as far as what we're going to do in our decision-wise. Going back to the financial report, for this year, there's only less than $2,000 that been spent on. Most of that is incurred monthly costs, like the rent and the salary, portion of the salaries for the EDC director position, the finance director, and the portion with the city secretary, interim city secretary positions. And right now, I would say not much is spent, so a total amount of revenue remaining from this month, October 31st, is at $26,327, which is a surplus on our end for that. If there be any questions, I'm more than free to answer any.
How much is in the money market account right now?
Right now, we have $317,586
Okay.
on the second
I want to make
page.
sure it's the right number, all right.
Oh, it's on the second page. I apologize.
21 cents. Well,
That's good.
anybody want to comment on the good report?
Yeah, I would like to approve the financial statements for October the 31st of 2023.
Okay, a motion to accept financial
Motion to
statement.
accept.
I'm sorry, that's what it was. Okay, motion
I'll
to accept on the floor, second.
I'll second.
Have a second. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Unanimous again, thank you.
Oh,
Ross, we
one,
appreciate what you do.
and one side note, letting the boards know, and since this is the first meeting of it, we had just approved to use a newer version of a budget module. It's not FundView. It is in addition to what we must do for our budget. You would see a different report, more transparent.
Good.
It would show graphs, it would show information, it would show all the funds going in between the line items. It would be more transparent than what I'm giving you.
Okay.
So that would probably be starting in January or February of next year. This is great news. We really need that because we spent hours and hours on Excel spreadsheets. That need to go away, to be honest with you. Excel spreadsheet been around for almost 35, 40 years, and as long as I've been in government. So it's like a typewriter, I hate to say it. And so with this new venue that we have for our budget module, you'll see a great new way and format with that.
That's
Fantastic.
great, thank you.
Save y'all some time.
Yes,
That's even better.
thank you.
You again, sir, what you do. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Really do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a question,
Question.
and I know we have voted on this already, but, and this is peripheral. EDC director, we didn't really spend anything last year other than a little bit that Dawn was able to charge off to it. But I would like to see somehow the city get an EDC director. Is that something that we need to bring to city council?
Well, it's been under discussion, I guess, so go ahead, Don. What, can you give us any insight on that? Please.
Not really.
He's got his hands full already, and
It's
also.
not, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And also Diana Miller has helped us in the past. I don't know that we were able to give Diana any time last year to give us some assistance, but that is also charged off to the city, or it should be part of the budget for what we're doing here for EDC. And maybe we should just ask her to come make a presentation to us about economic development.
Just, okay.
Well, we can ask about that. I can reach out to her, but we did budget to some money from A Board and B Board, both for Johnson County Economic Development.
Yeah.
As far as the Economic Development Director position, it is not budgeted for this year. So that's something that can be discussed and brought up at a later date. Obviously, it'd have to be approved by council and all of
It's
that.
not budgeted, but we have it in our budget.
I'm sorry?
You said it's not budgeted, but it's in our budget?
For Diana Miller, Johnson
Oh, okay.
County Economic Development is in our budget, but for an actual position of Economic Development Director, no, it's not in our budget.
So that wouldn't go against that line item for charges that she would have.
Correct me, Don, or somebody, yeah, okay, go ahead.
I want to make clarification on that. Last year, the Economic Development Director position was combined with the Development Coordinator position to create the Assistant City Manager position, which does the duties of all those three positions, or two positions, but three boards. So it'll be A Board, B Board, and then the city side.
So basically, the EDC director support costs on here of $68,416 went toward that.
Goes toward,
Correct.
that's right, that's our share of that position, so.
Yes,
Correct.
Right, Don,
City manager.
Don is holding that position now,
Okay.
part-time,
Okay,
Right.
okay? So,
Right now,
we
it's
made this, I'm sorry.
33% out of A Board, 33% out of B Board, and 34% out of the city. It's how his
That was
position is
figured.
currently paid.
So instead of 69,000 on 3,000, 110, 68, 53, whatever it is, that would be 130 to 40,000, wouldn't it, if we had our own economic development director?
Yes, that's a great question. Just like Don and Nathan indicated, what was budget, like he said, a third from each party, but also include the maintenance person. I think we included a portion of that, 69,000, because 20,000 from each particular board and the city pays for that position as well, that is included. Now, the thing is, and I would wish the board to do, this has already been approved and passed, that we will start our new budget in a couple months, believe it or not, and bring that back to the table in your recommendation for that, because in just a few months, we'll be right back at the budget again.
24, 25 budget.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you, yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Charles.
But right now, that position is 1/3 sitting next to you. That's the best we can do, I'm sorry. And Don is fielding all those questions. We're going to go into executive session a little later, and we'll discuss that. Is that true, or do we have an executive session?
We do that,
We
but,
do, okay.
yeah.
All right, that's not the next item, but I just want to make sure.
Right.
So Don is fielding those issues with help of Kit right now. All right, our next item, is that okay now? Did that answer your question for the?
Yes, sir.
time? Okay, so
Thank you.
nobody dedicated full-time for that position?
Right.
Or the third. All right, have a discussion on the industrial park sign. That looks familiar, and I think we've heard that before, so bring it up.
I know, I believe the last meeting, Ms. Gillen asked if we could bring that up again. So I just presented you today with some more information that Molly and some others had worked on in the past with Jacob and Martin, Tarrant Construction. Kind of some examples. There's a map in there on where they had it, talked about putting it at the corner of 318 and Highway 67. There's some prices and quotes. Obviously, they're a few years old now. One of the issues we had is when we first, when I was helping Molly with this, was we went out and located, there's a lot of fiber optic phone lines, things of that nature, that trying to put it and stay out of text dots right away. So the other question, if I remember correctly, was do we put that sign at 318 or would we like to put that sign at 317 where we have a little sliver of a corner there where there's currently a wooden sign there? Obviously, that road would need to be, brought up to standards and drainage and everything else at the same time. So kind of, these are just some of the information that I found in the past, and kind of give us direction on what you would like to see.
Well, where would it be more visible?
Well, honestly, you'd need one at both entrances, I believe, or entrance, exit. And it all depends on, how we lay it out, and do we get it to connect between 317 and 318 down by the cul-de-sac.
We don't want to put it on 317 the way it sits now, that's the road.
Probably not, yes.
So to me, it goes back, do we want to develop that end of the park? It's going to cost us probably close to $2 million. Are we going to be able to get that bond for $2 million to get that road fixed? I agree with Carl on that.
Yeah, I would say in the immediate future, probably not. But in the near future, possibly.
I hate to put a sign over there right the way it sits, not doing anything for the road for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, I would say we might end up doing this in 2 stages. One sign on the road we have now and one later after our motocross track becomes a road.
Yeah, so just
But
kind of looking for some direction and,
Well, seriously, I was looking at the sign, even just this generic one right here, $20,000. It may just be because it's the size of it. My sign is stone, and of course it's not lighted, so if you wanted to light, but there is even an extra charge down here, not included up there, which would make it $26,000 if you got it solar lighted. Mine only cost $6,000. for the stonework, for the sign.
How big is yours compared to this?
Well, if you drive by, you can see it. I don't remember how big it is. It was done back in 2009, I think.
Right,
But again, that was a lot less than this.
right.
So,
I don't know all the details
Yeah.
in this. I didn't
Unless
really have a
they were
chance to look at
not-
the quote.
Yeah.
Being right there next to TxDOT's right away,
yeah,
I'm sure they would have some say in the construction of it, so.
right.
Yeah, but if I believe there's a phone pedestal somewhat involved in that area too.
Correct.
Which put it-
Yeah, there's a lot of phone lines and fiber optic lines where originally they thought about putting it.
Well, this is tall, so that could make a big difference too. But
Right.
Has the
I
city
don't think it
done
says on
any
here how
signs
tall it is. It says it's 12 foot
anywhere,
wide.
so- Has the city done any signs or set a basic now? Because I know at a previous city I was at, they didn't have one, so each group was putting signs up and they all looked different and you couldn't really tell until they set a standard, because they had put one sign in to welcome them into the city and it actually looked like a used car parking spot when they first
We
built it.
do,
And
we do
that-
have a sign ordinance if that's
that
what you're
set 'em
referring to.
in motion to, at least I guess I'm suggesting maybe we get with council and say if we set a sign with the sign ordinance and we set a sign standard for the city of Keene, so anybody driving in would recognize it as a Keene sign.
I mean, almost like a trademark logo
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Well, Wes, were you not involved in the granite sign down there at
I-
our entrance on College?
I did that sign, and that was actually Pinnacle Bank and the university and the Chamber of Commerce, and I don't remember if the city put money in on it, but that was actually in TxDOT right-of-way at the time, I believe, or it was given to the city, I think. And so part of the deal was that TxDOT actually gave money to do landscaping, which was neglected for a period of time, and then it's brought back up again. So whenever we do a sign, I recommend putting proper lighting in and proper landscaping. And if this is an industrial park, I believe these are actually a little bit small when it comes right down to it, if you want an industrial park sign. And the first one is low, it might be, 6 feet high is about all. So it's gonna get lost so if you do something like is on the very back page, that needs to be big enough so you can put the names of the companies in there on those blank areas. So there needs to be a little more study done on this, because that is a 60-mile-an-hour speed zone down through
Exactly.
there.
Right.
And the really identifying location was our problem before, where we could.
Right.
Where it could be seen using 318. That was the problem we had.
And down there where the entrance is now, I wouldn't go any other way at this point. Have it at the entrance where the industrial park, where you get in and out there now.
Entrance on 67 or entrance to Industrial Road off of 318?
No, off of 67. Absolutely off of 67.
To replace the wooden sign.
Yes,
Mm.
which you can't see unless you really know what you're looking for.
If you know it's there,
Yeah.
but it doesn't draw attention.
And one of the big issues with that is, like you mentioned, it's a 60-mile-an-hour right through there. And until a future stoplight comes in, if it ever does,
TxDOT told us, if I remember right from Molly, that they would be willing to assist us with something back at 317, but because of 318 being in that little dip, they weren't interested in putting anything there.
Right. Well, they did at 414 after
Yeah,
They sure
some
did.
yeah.
citizens
It's not quite.
brought it to their
big dip, though,
attention.
as there is at 318.
It's close, but yes, so.
Well, they were willing to work with us on 317.
And I think as the road itself develops and more businesses come in, I mean, I personally would like to see the speed limit lowered once you get into the city limits or when it starts to get more congested. That's just my personal.
So basically, right now, this is an informational item.
Yeah, she just wanted to bring it up, have a discussion on it, kind of see where everybody's at. Do we want to, I mean, we spent some money on this already in the last couple of years with engineering and things of that nature. Do we want to do that again, or do we just want to kick it around a little bit, or just give me some directions, what to look into? I mean, kind of got some basic information from you, but is that something that we really want to focus on right now, is a sign for just those two businesses? By putting a sign up, is that going to attract more business?
I
don't
would
know.
think so, because right now, nobody even knows it's out there.
Well,
And there could be businesses going through here. There could be businesses going through here that would like to be down in this area.
It's possible. Yeah.
And so anytime you have signage, you do have people seeing it, at least.
my thought, to be honest, is if they saw it and they pulled off, what would they see? They'd see an undeveloped pasture that they didn't know if that's where our future development's supposed to be, or they could go down to the little bit we have now and see there's a lot or two open down there, some open area, but
Right.
you know, we were thinking that the whole thing would be developed someday with roads, and that's really when you need to advertise it. Right now, it's just bare pasture, and that's the problem you've run into, I imagine. I'm sure it's Molly's problem, I know.
Right.
People out there to show them, and there's really nothing to show them, and you say, okay, imagine, and that's as far as it gets. Imagine this, and that's it.
Yeah, it has grown a little when Texas Pocket Spring expanded, so that helped.
Yeah.
And then with the other company that we're going to discuss later.
Well, and like what
Executive
Wes said,
session.
excuse me, didn't mean to butt over you there. What Wes said, you know, if it had the names of the companies that are out there, then they know there's something there.
Yeah, but
And
do most people that are looking for industrial land drive down the highway? Or do they do their research online, on the internet, on things of that nature? I mean, it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
You know, or is that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 investment going to help us right now? Or is that something that we should look at in the future?
That price in 2020, that of what we have now showing is 3 years old, 2 years old.
Right. So, I mean, that's just something to think about.
Sure. Okay, let's just use it as an informational item. We'll just discuss what's next in an executive session, and that may shed some light on whether we would like to do this or not do that, so.
It's up to you.
Anything else before we go into executive session? Okay, at this particular time, pursuant, I don't know how much of this I need to read. Pursuant to Texas Open Records Meeting Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, we are going to have an executive session. This is under deliberations of real property, Section 551.072. We're going to now go into executive session. It'll be at 9:28, and then we'll be back in here to finish up. Okay, we'll reconvene back into regular session at 9:53 a.m. This is the Keene Economic Development Corporation. And no action was taken during the executive session. Our next,
Weren't we authorizing,
I'm sorry.
Martin?
What do you think? They just need to basically say they're giving me permission to enter negotiations? I mean, pursue contracts, bring back to the board? Do we need a motion for that, or do we? Yeah, if you just want to make a motion to authorize Assistant City Manager over Economic Development to enter into negotiations for the sale of that land in the industrial park.
Okay, open session, of course, now, so anybody want to make that motion?
I make a motion that Don Martin be able to have further conversations and negotiations with
I just,
Wayland Wolf Juniors Enterprises LLC.
I'll second that
Second
motion.
okay. We have that down? Okay.
Does that work?
You gonna take a vote?
Oh, yeah, we don't want to make sure it's okay that they wrote that down.
Yes.
Apparently so. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your
Aye.
hand, I apologize.
Me.
Okay, I'll get back on the page one of these days. I was just trying to make sure that somebody copied down that motion is what I was asking about. The last thing on our agenda item is a request for any future agenda items. We'll have one meeting in December, of course. You want to say something, go ahead.
Yes, and I'm going to bring up having Johnson County Economic Development Director. I would ask her if we could see if she could come meet with us our next meeting.
Okay.
Anything in particular you want to ask or her to talk about, or just a brief overview?
An overview of how they work with Keene Economic Development, because some of us are not familiar with the whole process, and I think that we're not utilizing Johnson County Economic Development here in Keene.
And Don, I believe I asked before if someone could find out whether the type A board, type B board could work together to do something to get a new police station. And someone was going to get an answer about that so that we could possibly get them the room they need. With our city growing, with thousands of new homes coming in here, they're needing more police officers, new firemen. We need a place for them to go, a place for them to work from. And I'm surprised it wasn't put in our large building here, but there's not room here, but we need to find them a building, and can we help them do that?
So I guess that would be, I don't know how to answer that question, if we can help them legally or not, so you
Yeah,
have to.
that's why I'm asking.
We'd have to look into that
And can we discuss that at the next board meeting here?
if we have enough time to get you enough information, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
we can look into that.
So basically, we'd like to ask Diane just to come meet with us and get to know everybody and field questions. Would that be okay?
I can reach out to her.
See if she'll do it. It may take 2 months, maybe January. I don't know what her schedule is, so.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? Take a motion to adjourn this meeting if it's necessary. You make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn
You
this
second it?
meeting.
I say,
Okay, so all in favor, raise your hand, please. We're
Aye.
adjourned.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Nathan, everybody.